place to be you. I've got to be near you. You shook me and saved me with love that you gave me. You gave me a reason to get up in the morning. You gave me a reason to smile.
If you learn how to meditate in a certain way, one of the things that I teach all of the Galighticus students is how to take this conscious mind into the astral plane and through the dream gate, so that they can wake up in their dreams and have a lucid experience and be able to fly through the air, breathe underwater, and deal with their future. And it's an ability that we all have if we learn how to unlock the doorways within the consciousness that keep us away from that.
You know, they always say technology is an emulation of our spiritual. The artificial technology is doing nothing, a copycat version of our spiritual technology.
That's right.
So so they're saying this is an illusion. They're saying that this is a projection of our consciousness. I hear some people say that reality can be compared. Motion is an illusion. The idea of motion is illusion, some people say, and that you could compare reality to a still picture frame. You know how, like, you got, let's say you got 30 picture frames, and if you flick through them real fast, it looks like it's moving, but it's really not moving. It's a still frame.
Right.
So they're saying that reality is still frequencies, and our consciousness moves through them billions of times a second, so fast that it appears that we're moving, but we're not. We're just going through frequency, like billions of times a second.
That's right.
So it made me think about dreams. Because in a dream, Gano could be sitting right here. The next thing you know, you're sitting on top of a building.
Right.
Is it that your consciousness went from one picture frame to another picture frame in a much faster rate than what you do in awakened state? Like, how does that work? How does this whole technology work of still picture frames and us running through a billion times a second?
The tapestry of creation, if you look at the electromagnetic spectrum and you look at the ultraviolet frequency, I believe it vibrates over 400 trillion times in under a second. There are levels of cognition that you can utilize in order to see what some of those actions are. So when you're dealing with the Kundalini, which is predominantly the aperture that allows you to experience every single dimensional complex that you live on, if you learn how to master that and your Kundalini is activated, your dreams will change, and you can start to become more of a participator in your own dreams. So when you look at the 24 frames per second, that's deducement of the master frequency. And you know, I'm a vicegerent of 44444. We're actually living in 2016, which delineates into a series of 5 4s. 4 seems to be the cubing, and I'm going to teach that in Hypernatural Magic, how we can use that to unlock the hidden power of the dream. So in your dreams, yes, you can be here in 1 second, and you could be in a totally different environment in a fraction of a nanosecond. That's because you're using a different part of your consciousness that is eternal. And the eternal part of your consciousness does not have time. Now, this would lead us back to something that you said before. In reality, no, time does not exist. Time is a machination. It's a creation that has to subsist so that we can figure out who we really are. So we live in a machination of time, which is an artificial creation that allows us to interface with the limitation of where we came from, or being unplugged or separated from the eternal part of who we are. Time allows us to perceive the opposite of perfection. So the threshold for human receptivity of goodness, kindness, bliss, and euphoria, again, is very low. We don't allow ourselves to experience grand goodness. So we like to, and let me take the me out of it because I no longer participate in this. But humans like to suffer. They enjoy the struggle. They like to deal with not having enough. They love to waddle in the throes of the spirit of lack and poverty consciousness, because if the opposite were true, they could instantly bring themselves into the frequency of abundance, of which it is all around you. So when you get outside of time, you can see that the past, the present, and the future are all happening at the same time. So basically, you're still that little kid that lived in the past. That's still going on. And there's an old man part of you that still is there. And sometimes when you dream at night, you will actually see visions of what you're doing in your future. And that's what proves that eternity is a real thing. The job that most people have is learning how to come out of the machination of the time complex. When you look at some of the gods live for billions and billions of years. 1 year to them might be 3 eternities to you, into your perception. So again, one of your jobs, and when I say your, I mean whoever's listening that wants to evolve, is to come outside of those limitations and learn how to master time and become timeless, but not before the prematurity of knowing how to do it and how to advocate for it.
With knowing what you know, you just got the title Sri Master.
Yes.
You're having this 3D experience down here. Would you want to come back for another experience? I mean, you're learning how to manipulate elements. You know what the laws of nature are. You know about energy and frequency. So it seems like it wouldn't be that bad, because you know what you got to do to get what you want to get. So with that being said, would it be that bad for you to come down here, or are you done having this what we call human experience?
Well, I would say I actually chose to come back, and I declared that this would be my last time. And as I talk to people, a lot of people are saying that this is my last time around. So there are a lot of people that have the sensation that this is going to be their last physical lifetime. But in order to make that a reality, you're going to have to unlock the fetters, which are very, very thick, ironclad cuffs that keep you bound here spiritually. And there's been a lot of intercedence or grand design, divine intervention that has been given to this particular age and this time to help people make this their last lifetime, because really it's no different from playing in the mud, as I've said many times before. Playing in the mud as little children or in the sandbox, after a while it gets tiring. You've experimented with the granules of sand and playing with your friends, but eventually you're going to want to go home. And there's something, again, that's deeply entrenched inside of every soul. There is a homesickness, and there is a sensation that this is not your true home, and that eventually you're going to want to make it back there. And that's how it plays out and how it feels.